Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3. Why, hello, and welcome to My Whiskey Den, your favorite public access whiskey review show where craft whiskey is king. Sorry, the whole thing glitched on my side and locked up when I was going to spin, so I'm lucky I didn't block the whole thing up there. So, thank you for being with us this evening, because we have a very special guest, Miss Shannon Hood, who is gracing our presence with an array of Ironroot bottles that we're going to be tasting here tonight. But also Robert snuck in. So we were lucky enough to have Robert sneak in tonight and have him back on the show. So thank you for doing that, Robert. It's been a long time. We're happy to see you.
Thanks for allowing me to sneak. So,
sorry. I think we've done some things in the past. You're allowed to sneak. Maybe some payback even. So,
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But before we go any further, Mike, do you want to tell every one of our guests about the Bar Cart Co-op? Hopefully,
I would love to tell everybody about the Bar Cart Co-op, Patrick.
Thank you.
All right. We are proud members of the Bar Cart Co-op, which is a collection of friends who create content for the whiskey and other distilled spirits public. The Bar Cart Co-op YouTube and Facebook pages have information about upcoming and past special shows, which happen about every quarter. There's been blind tastings, distiller panels, including Mr. Robert Licorice, discussions of special collaborations, and the usage of unique grains. The Bar Cart Co-op has educational and fun episodes for your enjoyment. And the oldest show in the group is Distillers Talk, hosted by Christy Atkinson and Alan Bishop. It's a conversation with people from distilleries and distillery adjacent that gets into deep and sometimes off the rails and back again discussions with their interviews. New episodes arrive at the end of the work week. And if that is not nerdy enough, check out One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. This is the show where Alan Bishop answers any questions about distilling and often puts them to the test. It could be individual grains, entire mash bills, equipment, or methodology. New episodes come out randomly, so subscribe. And then we have Bourbon Turntable, where they mix the love of music with the love of whiskey. They have conversations with musicians, writers, distillery folks, and common folks like us about music and whiskey. It releases every Wednesday on all your platforms, including YouTube. The Ironroot show from last week was up. Maggie Kimbrell is this week. Judith Hollis-Jones from Buzzard's Roost, she's a rock star. That's coming up. And in a German band named Dear Robin. And Lenny Eckstein's coming back in November. So there you go. Thank you, Kevin, for posting that. And then there is If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything, which is a show about spirits and paranormal among us, as well as the unexplained and the spiritual. Subscribe on Spotify to get the 4 previous seasons and the 5th one in progress. And last but not least, we have David Levine with Whiskey Ring Podcast. David does a great job with his interviews. He does a great job with his reviews and does a really good job with his awards. And as we say, David does all the things that we don't do.
So,
he made an appearance.
See? Sir Winston Churchill makes it out for this evening. Glad to see him.
Yeah.
Morgan, how are you doing?
I am well. How are you?
Doing excellent. Everyone in the chat, thank you for stopping in bright and early. Where do we want to start? You have an array of new products and then a little bit of and happy anniversary to you both, because that's coming up here in a couple days. You'll be celebrating that. Sadly, I will not be down there, but I mean, congratulations on 10 years. And you are making it down?
Damn right I am.
There you go. That's what we like to see.
You will hear all about some fun stuff that you will get to see when you come down.
Excellent. All right. Which one do you want us to start off with, Shannon?
Well, so everything I sent you, I didn't send any, of the core Harbinger or Promethean, so I sent you all things that are either are new this year or releases in honor of our anniversary. But the first thing I think we'll start with is the brand new sleight of hand bourbon.
Excellent.
So this is 92 proof. We call it an approachable proof or a crushable proof, which is, 92 is a little low for us, but it kind of follows along with our Saints Alley line, where it is a blend of our pot still bourbon. We invited some friends from Kentucky and Indiana to join the party and blended in some of their spirit as well. So it's a straight blended bourbon, 92 proof, great price point. Outside of Texas, you'll find it at Total Wine, $35 to $40 price point. But yeah, this just released really within the last 2 weeks. I know it was in Wisconsin when I was there a couple of weeks ago. Texas officially launched like November 1st. So yeah.
So finally, you guys have to wait longer than we do.
Yeah.
All right.
So how many total wines is this in? Or how many regions is it in? Do you know?
It's going to be in every region.
Yeah.
I believe it's in about 240 stores nationwide right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, yeah, you can see the label again.
So
my light's kind of glary.
All good.
Cards, and the center kind of symbol for each card has the different state that we use to make the blend. So it has Texas, as Kentucky, as Indiana on each of the cards.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So kind of a little Easter egg, I guess. If those states were to change, we would change them on the card. I tell everybody, growing up in Texas, like I obviously learned the shape of Texas, and I just assume everybody else is a square. So
some more than others.
Some boxing.
I could pick out Kentucky, but yeah, I'd have to study Indiana's shape a little bit.
Shannon, I understand that because I grew up in Ohio, so I always just look for the heart, and the rest of the United States isn't relevant, other than Oklahoma that points at you. But that's about it.
Judgmental Oklahoma.
Other than maybe the mitten of Michigan. So
what do y'all think of it? And Pat, I may have given you a sample when I saw you in Green Bay, but I'm guessing this is the first time for Mike or Morgan for you to try this.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I thought you might have snuck a little taste in before. Mike's sometimes making notes early.
I make my notes except for like right before. That's when I'll pour it and go through it. And I had stuff poured, but I didn't get a chance to get anything sniffed.
Now, I can't really tell you like what distilleries they're coming from, but I can probably tell you like one's like a 21% rye mash bill, the other one's a little higher, 36% rye mash bill, and then our corn bourbon. So you do kind of get a little bit of that rye spice on the back end, but I think it's
and about how
nice
old
and
is it?
Sweet, and it's kind of subtle, but that rye kind of lingers. I think helps the finish last a little longer.
So it's a blend of barrels from 4 years old. The majority of the liquid in it, though, is 7.
Okay. Because I was gonna say it smells richer, and the sugars smell rounded down a bit more than a younger whiskey. Oh, Kevin was saying graham cracker. Got that. I got more of a graham cracker's right, but almost more of like a bread note to it, rather than like the cracker baked deeper.
See, I got the graham cracker but it's got honey that's been soaking into the graham cracker.
Okay, well, making it softer. I just like it smells like a softer pastry to me.
If you're gonna eat that graham cracker like that, you got to eat like a fat kid, Patrick.
Let's see here. It's got this nice darker note, but it's not like an overwhelming like note. It's like almost like a light fig or date. Like it's a little dark fruit note to it.
This is a really nice nose.
Like a date.
Yeah, I love the nose on it.
Especially
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna go like a not quite a fig Newton, but kind of a fig Newton with a graham cracker outside to it. Like you said,
Now
the
you're just, like,
honey
piling
drizzle on
treats
top. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of one of those. I don't know if you've all ever made them, but those campfire pies that you use the white bread and a shit ton of butter and then pie filling, and you sandwich it in between the two cast iron pieces. That's kind of
Yep.
what I get with this, like that bready note from it. I don't really know how else to describe it other than like a real rich bread flavor that's just been like super, super saturated with like a fruit. Definitely get a lot of like, I get a lot of peach for some reason.
Did you take a
Kind of
It
drink?
is
yet?
like a light fruit note, yeah.
Yeah,
Morgan, did you take a drink yet?
not yet. I'm
When you-
still
that,
messing with
that,
the
that
nose.
whole buttered note.
Yeah.
I
It's like I've never made what you just described, but I can taste what you just described.
Okay, that's wild that's what I said on the nose.
So I have a question. Have you? Because this is different than anything else that you have.
Mhm.
Do you have a cocktail that you've made specifically with this bourbon?
That is still ongoing. We've got a lot of things that we've played and gone down. Kind of funny enough, one of the things that we're looking at doing with it is doing basically different pie inspired cocktails. And
okay.
Mhm.
so the fact you were talking about the
The fruit pies, yeah.
yeah
That's
Mhm.
wild.
the jam we were trying to go with it. So no.
Now you just went to. So I hope there's a lemon meringue kind of
Ooh,
version
yeah, that'd be
going
nice.
on this, because otherwise I'm gonna look into that this evening. Because it's neat because it has the finish is I don't want to say hard to peg, but it's not woody, but it has a nice little bit of tannins to it, but it still feels a little oily texture on the finish, which is neat.
I think that's going to be our contribution to the blend, our pot still bourbon. That's going to add that kind of character in there. And we always want you to, that to kind of be up front, so you do know you're still drinking Ironroot.
Finishes like a fruit pie.
Mm-hmm. I get a hint of lemon in it.
Think
Maybe
of-
Maybe
that
I've been like lemon meringue, but I think it's in my head now. This
You got lemon all over you.
Someone remembering pie.
may have
It
screwed
finishes
me
like
up.
a really good apple pie. Not one that's got a lot of cinnamon, but just a true strong apple pie.
Mhm.
But
That's not all syrupy
with some-
like McDonald's and
yeah. But with some caramel glaze on top of it
Right.
or something like that. Dang, this is good. I'm glad I don't
Yeah,
have
it
to
is.
share this with Mitch because he's got his own. So thank you, Shannon.
No, he doesn't.
Mitch
No, he
his
doesn't.
own.
He didn't have anything.
Yeah, I only sent one package, right?
That's right. Snooze, you lose, Mitch.
that caramel glaze is almost like right as you hit something with a torch and start to just caramelize it real quick like that. That is really nice. Okay, I'm gonna set this to the side.
So kind of with that now, just a little bit later this year, we will also release a sleight of hand rye. I believe that is going to be limited to Texas for the first little bit. But people that live in Texas, so
It will eventually be out to the rest of the country, though. It will be probably sometime before, hopefully.
And so that will be kind of similar, a blend of some sourced ryes blended with our rye as well. But both of those were kind of looking to aim more like on premise, behind the bar, that lower price point, a little lower proof. Still holds up in a cocktail at 92 proof, I think.
I would think so. From the flavors you're getting, they even got like a hint of mint on the end of that too. That's neat. Yeah, but you'll have to keep us abridged of this cocktail list or competition as it comes up, because I'm intrigued as how you use that. And that should be done more often. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, I think probably beginning of the year we'll be running those. We got lots of experimenting to do. So,
on a whole nother note, sorry, I gotta ask: is there a bakery in town where you can get a cocktail and a slice of pie?
I don't know if there's a bakery.
I don't think so.
There's definitely get one or the other though.
There's no stopping you from bringing one into the other, maybe.
Okay, well I like that. Mike, you may have to do that. I'll give you money for a pie.
You're the one.
You're gonna bring some for the anniversary, and everyone's got cake, so
Just show up with a pie.
Yeah.
Punch and pie.
Does this match a cocktail?
It will if you're there early enough.
Yes.
All right. So
yeah. Yeah, that is obviously just something new released this year. Not necessarily a special release for the anniversary, but something new in the anniversary year.
For the price point, that's a really, I think, a fun one. I don't see a lot of people turning that down for like a trial entry point for you guys. And
For sure.
It's interesting to stand up. Like Mike said, it's not quite like stuff you've done in the past, but it is a neat entry point for people. I dig that. Yeah, for 35, that's I mean, with everyone else doing stuff, I'm sorry, it's you might as well think for craft stuff it starts at 50, 60 or something right now. So anything below that is a win for the consumer. I'll just say it that way.
Texas is sitting right at like 42, I think. Some of the states are always a little cheaper on our Saints Alley and this, well, really on everything, but
yeah, it's weird enough. Independent stores have it at 35, and then the big box stores have it at like 42. And I'm exactly why there's that discrepancy, I don't know. So
whatever.
Yeah.
It's still a great price.
It is. Oh, howdy, Paul. Good to see you in the chat. You too, Neil.
Hey.
Let's see. Oh,
Winston says hello.
I like that he's getting mouthy over there.
Yeah. Everybody's not paying attention to me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start pouring the Saints Alley, just because I know we have a few to get through this evening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So back in February, March of this year, at the World Whiskey Awards in Kentucky, Saints Alley, our Nobleman Rye, which is our rye whiskey finished in a Hungarian Tokaj cask, won Best American Rye Whiskey. We lost out to winning that Best in World by like one other rye whiskey. But absolutely delicious. So this is batch 4, which is actually not out yet, but probably within the next week and a half, couple of weeks. Sometimes y'all will see it sooner than Texas sees it.
It'll be available in the distillery the first time at the anniversary party, but it won't be on.
107 proof. I have always loved the Nobleman.
I'm gonna be a little quiet because I did try this one over the weekend, and I will say my friends all had a similar response that I did. Once you started sipping, once you actually got it into your mouth and saw what happened, I'll let Mike and kind of Morgan start with some nosing notes, I guess. I could help with that, but for me it had a distinct I don't know. I don't want to call it explosion, but it definitely jumped around quite a bit there once you get into it.
My
I'll let
first,
Morgan go because I'm just pouring. I still have batch 1, so I'm
Oh, you're
pouring next. I'm gonna do
comparing.
a compare.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's a fun. I
this
love
one.
batch
This one
one.
does not get touched very often.
Batch 1. I got batch.
He's the funky one of
I think that my initial nose on this would be dusty banana nut bread. I know that sounds, I come up with the weirdest things, I swear. But I definitely get that like real rich, fresh out of the oven banana nut bread. But then it's like you took it and threw it in a really dusty barn and rolled it around right away, and then like came back and sniffed it. So, yeah, that's what I get on the nose. It's real rich though. Oh,
It's
and
very
definitely
rich. There's a
caramel.
little like tobacco-y note for me.
Mhm.
Yep. That's one where I was gonna say I was almost thinking like it was where you were saying like a banana nut bread, like the edge of the bread, but the more I got into it, it is more of like a tobacco note where you get
Yep.
like that leaf note. And when you were saying dry and dusty, I was almost after I got into it more was thinking where they dry the tobacco leaves. Like if it was dusty or dry, like really dried out in there, that I was getting a little bit of that note in the background of that too. This is just, it's neat, and it just has the hint of all like the baking spices right at the bottom of the glass, like slightly dancing around. But
And I always tell people like they're, especially people that are like I don't like rye whiskey. I'll be like, well, try this one. I promise you'll like it, and they usually do. I think that finish in that sweet wine barrel kind of takes that little bit of edge off that people don't, if they don't like a rye whiskey, it's because of that like spicy edge to it, and I think it really kind of softens that.
I like that,
There
Kevin.
you go.
I like that. Sorry, I just had a sip. I'm waiting for you guys. I get all excited right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Please tell us. Please tell us.
Hold on. I'll have another drink because
Mike, do you want to go with your thoughts on the nose?
I'm. Give me a minute. I started nosing 1 and 4 together, and then you said that about banana nut bread, and then I started getting notes because I do when we do the baking, we don't use vanilla, we use rum. Started doing that 5 years ago and found good rums, and it's actually better. But I did a couple batches of banana bread recently, and I used why can't I remember what with the distillery in Green Bay, Pat? Why can't
Paradise North?
Paradise North. I used his blackstrap rum.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I also add honey to the banana bread because if you've seen me, you know that I do these things. So, but it added a lot of dark notes to it, and then and I started is kind of reminiscent of that. But I was getting before Kevin was saying that, I'm getting apple on there too. It's almost like apple banana bread. And then I get hit with the tobacco. And batch 1, I haven't touched this in a while. When I was nosing, it's like, wow, it's just so much fruitier in comparison to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird. This is it's richer and darker.
Yeah. We found when the first one we did, it felt like we almost went a little too overboard on the finish, and so it ended up being too much dominated by the Tokai. So that's what when we go back to like batch 2, started dialed it back quite a bit, just because it wasn't allowing the rye to sing quite in the same way. That was the feel.
was good enough to win awards.
Yeah, well, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was batch 3.
That was batch 3.
3.
What's that? What is happening?
You always come prepared. You always.
Mm.
Oh, man.
All right.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pat, I know that Total Wine in Madison, they stocked up on batch 3. Like when I was there in May, or for Distill America, they had, I don't know how many cases, but this last trip I just made, they were down to like their last 2 cases.
Well, then they hit it at the
I
right
said,
point.
batch
Then.
4 is coming, so.
All right. Have you guys tasted it yet?
I have.
Yes.
Okay. The entry is lovely, silky
God,
smooth.
it's good.
Butter, silky smooth. Caramel cream wisp on the entry. Oh, but then, man, when I talked about the excitement, there's a point where there's like all of like the little activation things on my tongue are all going off. There's like, it's like that light little bit of alcohol note when it goes around. You don't even feel it, but it is just like opening up all sorts of stuff. I'm also salivating, opposite of dry, which is typically you get a lot of dry stuff from a lot of other people. That's not even like the flavors, but there's a second where all of a sudden it's like silky smooth and it's like and it's like flavors sparkling around. So sorry, that's why I like this one. And everyone I had that night kind of thought the same thing, where there's a moment where it's like, oh, what just happened?
That's fun. And see, I'll get a lot of those notes off of the Saints Alley Herald, the Armagnac finish. Because I always compare that one to like eating Pop Rocks, how it just hangs out on your tongue and sits there and effervesces. But whatever all that you just described is generally how I feel about the Herald. And I feel like with Saints Alley, like, you know, with each different batch that's put out, they always just are a little bit better than the one before.
Mm-hmm.
So if you collect them all, then you could taste through and see.
You can kind of see our thought process as we go through the products as they kind of evolve over time.
Well, that's good though. I mean, sometimes, well, that's what I like. I should say I like about Saints Alley is that it allows you to tinker a bit with it rather than just being like, this is what it is. This is what it's always going to be. It's like, no, we can change it just a titch, and everyone's going to be happy as long as we keep heading in this direction. You know, like.
See, I thought 3. I bought the 3 at the Total Wine when I was there for Distill America, and that bottle disappeared really quick, and it wasn't really the reason was it was so easy. It was way too easy, and anytime that I opened it for took it somewhere, it would just disappear because no one was complaining about rye as people do, and nobody was complaining about finish flavors. It was just super stupid easy to drink, whereas like this one, I mean, this is even still, this is a savory one, but this batch 4, I mean, this is a serious savoring whiskey. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's definitely one, like you kind of sit with this one in your glass for a while.
It has a fantastic finish. Medium, fun, and long as heck. I haven't had a drink in minutes, and I still feel it on the top of my tongue.
And this will be at the distillery for the anniversary, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Total Wine. I saw somebody ask about a Total Wine in Omaha. I would say yes, you will have access to Ironroot.
Opening, I was talking with Total Wine on this. I think they've got 1 shipment in of the Saints Alley items. The Ironroot items should be on the next shipment that comes in. to Nebraska. So,
And that should be sleight of hand and harbinger.
Right.
Yeah.
At least you guys get something. Can't complain.
We'll take it.
we're working on it,
Oh.
expanding as fast as we can,
Yes.
as the bank allows, at least.
And yes, so at the anniversary party on Saturday the 16th, there will be some showing off of that expansion. Be able to take some tours of the new warehouse space. Yeah. There'll be a couple of special releases that day also, but we can talk about them after we get through the rest of these.
I think they're there. Yeah, that's fair.
We're in the middle of the expansion of 2 new buildings. One will be done essentially this week. So that's the one we'll be kind of introducing to everybody. And then the larger warehouse will be a couple more months before it's done. But
So you're getting 2 warehouses?
one is like a bottling building and storage site, and also a blending kind of lab for Jonathan and the
That's
team.
cool. We've seen some other people. Bottling line is a good investment, but a big investment.
Yep. And surprisingly, it requires the same amount of people for us to use it. It's just fast, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad y'all enjoy that one. It's a beautiful whiskey.
It's just fun. It's lively when I'm gonna say you weren't expecting it in my mind. You know, it's got a neat bright burst in there that keeps it tingling. So, but I did open the next one, and it smells more like you guys.
So yes, the next one
That came out weird.
It came out weird, but
Smells like you, Robert.
said you
even though
guys.
it's just in a Harbinger label, this is the Harbinger cigar blend. So this was the first release this year that was kind of put out as a special release for our 10th anniversary year. And unlike most cigar blends out there, this is an unfinished cigar blend. So not finished in Armagnac or sherry or cognac barrels. These were just 13 kind of hand-picked barrels that when they were tasted or no, they had characteristics that reminded you of cigars, like a cedar note to remind you like of the humidor.
This
Has
thing
a little bit of barrel number 1 blended into it. Believe there was a Magic Mana mash bill barrel blended in here. Some early barrels, like when Jared from Balcones came up and was distilling early on at Ironroot. So yeah, lots of barrels in here.
A lot of historic barrels for us.
This has to be one of it's insanely oily. You swirl this around and you wait probably a good 30 seconds.
Beautiful color. It's just
before
beautiful.
anything starts to drip down, any beating starts to happen. It has insane cling.
And it was kept at the Harbinger standard 115 proof.
Oh. It's just so big and rich on the nose.
And I believe, now these are all gone, but I believe at the anniversary there might be an opening of the vault and some vault giveaways, or winners will be able to have the opportunity to purchase maybe some that are still hanging around. We think there's 5 cases being held hostage in Houston. We're not sure yet.
Damn.
I'm still hunting those down. Because I'm down to 3 bottles left.
I really want to go outside and smoke this with a cigar right now, even though it's raining. But yeah, I would love to go light this up with a acid blondie right now, just to get the full effect of it. But this is killer. I agree with Kevin on this. That definitely top candidate for whiskey of the year.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This is solid.
It's the amount of
to me, it has more of the traditional flavor profiles of like that our Promethean generally has. Of our 2 cores, Harbinger and Promethean. Promethean to me is always that, I call it the dark side. It's leather, tobacco, super like dark fruit notes, and chocolate. So I feel like this was Harbinger, grew up and he wanted to taste like Promethean. So here he is.
It has some of the qualities of some of the dusty whiskeys that I've had too.
Mm-hmm.
Just there's that creaminess with the dusty and tobacco and oak, and God, it's so good.
I believe
like
one of these barrels was the purple corn mash bill and new French oak, European oak.
There was a French oak cask, and then there was definitely a lot of European oak in the blend. This one's pretty heavy on the Euro oak use. Sure.
Yeah, this is killer.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun that the selection for the barrels and process for these, where it was like Jonathan would be selecting like 1 or 2 barrels a year to kind of hold back for certain reasons, and they all ended up being a very similar profile. High ester barrels, so ones that needed a lot longer to really turn over, to kind of shed that baby fat, but they're really some cool barrels that went into this blend.
Well, when you just mentioned baby fat, there is a neat like little fatty meaty note to the backside on this that you have it just. It's the level of depth and continuity that you have in this is outstanding. Because trying to pull it apart while you're trying to stop yourself from enjoying it is difficult.
Just enjoy it.
I want to think. I want to pull it over like, what? I don't know, but it is. Yeah, it is a tremendous whiskey.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of like super dark honey, very dark honey. And there's almost something I want to say like cream soda-ish or root beer-ish, like on the finish for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
The cream soda for sure. It's not like right on the edge of root beer, but the cream soda holds more on the finish and the ending, at least down the middle of my tongue.
This would make a great boozy milkshake.
I'm down for that.
It's like brown sugar molasses is just like holding on to the bottom part of my tongue and my teeth, and just like having little tannin notes like sparkle through it.
Now
you're all about the sparkly notes.
I am. I don't know, but it's something that's
10th
brighter,
anniversary
little
celebration, so it's sparkly for the celebration.
It's just like a brightness happening amongst all the dark notes and the richness. There's something shining through, like not just like I said. That's another layer of complexity to it.
So just to tempt one of the things from the 10th anniversary party here. So one of the releases we are doing at the 10th anniversary is the second release of iCore. We only do every 5 years. The black bottle.
Here's the last iCore, I think.
We have to manage
not this year's.
My absence from this and Mike's
but
coming to the party.
If you like this, and you think this was a really good whiskey, the 10th anniversary one is basically the same blend, but it's hazmat.
Yeah. So hazmat cigar blends will also be in a blacked out bottle, just not this bottle shape.
Which one? I got a couple. Kevin's right. I got some cards here.
Hold those up to the camera. What's your mother's maiden name, Pat? What street did you grow up on?
First pet's name, favorite teacher's name.
I picked my teacher I hated, never the one I liked. Hey,
Yes,
you
right.
remember the one that you disliked the most? There's only like one or two. Is like that person was awful.
Oh, I know exactly which one that is for me.
Yep, Sister Kathy. I can tell you that right now.
Mine was Mrs. DeRoche's. She got reprimanded, and also won Teacher of the Year, but was released / fired at the end of the year as well.
Oh, so good you cannot work anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of what it was. I was like, well, it's not what I wanted, but that is what I wanted. Yeah, that's fine.
His sister Kathy and some other nuns all left their orders, and they started a business making wedding cakes, and were cashing it in big time. They actually made ours, and then I saw her and I was like, I hope she doesn't recognize me. And then I thought, I hope she does. And she didn't say anything, but she shot me a look. I was like, I know she remembers me, and I hope she remembers how much I hated her. But she made a damn good cake.
So, funny interjectory story about nuns. Grew up very strong Catholic family, and I had some great aunts that were nuns. And my one great aunt was at my grandmother's watching Christmas Vacation, and it was the TV edited version of Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase, and she took it and went to Blockbuster way back in the 90s and rented it, and not realizing that there was an unedited version of this movie, and showed it to the convent. So she pretty much wanted to die and crawl out of
She
her
needed
skin
some cigar
because
blend.
of all movies to really watch unedited, especially when it gets into the part where he talks about, Frank Shirley and the type of boss he is. Yeah. So there's my fun nun story for the night.
Fun Nun would be a good cocktail name.
I'm sure they can relate.
That would be Mike. I agree.
What did you say, Mike? What type of nun? Sorry.
Fun Nun would be a good cocktail name.
It's not bad. I like
For Saints Alley.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey.
there you go. Could make it with the Herald.
I like the Herald.
Should get
All
that.
right.
Make it with it. That's what we should do.
So that is one of the fun things that will be happening Saturday at the release. You'll be able to hopefully get a bottle of Icor. Do we know how many there are? 220 to
300.
300. That's
Wow.
a good amount.
They'll all be gone that day.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Now, another fun thing being released that day, before we get into those next three single barrels, is the Team Danger blend. So it is a blend of barrel number 1 that's named for Danica, Jonathan's daughter. And I want to say Granger's is 147, 157, 152, 105. So it is Danica and Granger. They are Team Danger. So there will be very limited amounts of those available. They're going to be in 375s for the release. Yeah.
Cool. Let's give more people a chance. That's neat.
Yeah.
So,
The first 10-year-old. So pretty excited about that to let those guys out.
Yeah.
so can you remind us what the new Texas laws are for buying at the distillery?
4 bottles per person every 30 days.
Okay.
50% more than you could buy before. So
Every 30 days?
30 days.
Wow. Man, I'm
They're-
sorry.
Texas
I'm-
is probably going to send someone from the Bureau of Alcohol there just to go observe and stand in line too, probably.
Highly doubt it. We're not in the most metropolitan of areas, as they say. So
Never know.
Yep.
Pat, I can mule. If you can buy it, I can mule.
Well, I didn't want to take up all your slots. You know how that is.
Oh, you're not. I'm saying you could buy your own and I'll mule it.
Okay. Well, that's
You are not touching my slot, sir.
okay, good, because I may be doing that. That might be something that's happening here.
and just kind of whoever is out there listening or in the chat, if you go to the Ironroot website and you sign up for the newsletter or subscribe, oh, what's happening?
just guys. Oh,
Cut him off.
oh. Camera.
You will through that, be the first to learn about like all the new releases coming out. As we go into the new year, there'll be some opportunities for people it'll make it easier for people to get their hands on some Ironroot. I won't really go into specifics, but there are some very fun things coming. So you want to sign up so that you are the first to know about those, because some of those fun new things might have
Time
limited limited amounts of opportunities for people. So, but yeah, there are some great things coming, and I did get to try last week the iCore and the Team Danger, and they're both beautiful. One of them has a lot of those like dusty old notes that y'all have been describing some of these with. So very much on par for that. One of them that I tasted when I tasted one of these, it kind of reminded me of one of these single barrels. How the Granger barrel got a little rummy note to it. Then I came home and tried Captain Jack, and I was like, that is very similar. So. But yeah, so the next 3 that you have were last month. We released 3 single barrels. They came in like a little set. One of them is called Burnt Ends. It's the highest proof at 114.9.
Give me a second. I may throw up the wrong image here because there's 3 in
Of
there.
those
Very
3,
small. Of course,
the next
I picked
one,
the wrong one. There
Burnt Ends. So 71 months old, barrel 549. This was
Do burnt ends live if you guys can taste it.
All right, we can do it last.
I mean, just
do it last. Okay, yeah. I agree. I think we do Violet, Captain Jack, and then Burnt Ends. How about that?
Good.
Otherwise, you will only smell burnt.
This is good. I have a bottle of Violet waiting for me too. So
Nice. So, yep, this was named Violet after Violet Beauregard from, why am I drawing a blank? Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
Because it has notes of blueberry cobbler, creme brulee.
All right, here, let's go.
So this
Oh,
was a
that's
very
good.
limited release. Obviously, each of those had different amounts of bottles in it. I think Violet was actually the one with the most yield to it.
Okay.
It was the youngest barrels, I think.
Holy crap.
Burnt Ends
Yeah.
was 71 months. Violet was 78 months. Yeah. 113.5 proof. I mean, that's all I get is blueberries off here.
Yeah. So I spilled a little bit on accident, but yeah, like blueberry and the edge of the.
Oh, yeah, we can. I have some right here.
Well, I can definitely answer that question for you. So a couple of years ago, we did a barrel exchange with Pierre Ferrand, and we did a rum finished Ironroot that we released last year, and I guess a year ago in January.
Yeah, there it is.
That we did with the rum cast. There's also some cognac cast they gave us, which at some point in the future will make an appearance as well. But their request from us, they wanted a specific Promethean blend and then a specific Harbinger blend. So I think the ones that you got were the Promethean ones up.
Yeah, the Fiji was the Promethean, and the Jamaican
Harbinger
was in the Harbinger. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was fun. It was really fun playing around with them and matching spirit to barrel on both sides. So we had a lot of fun with it. So,
and I like them as a company too. So sorry, it sounds dumb, but I mean they do make it. They make a very nice rum. So that's
yeah. That was the first time I ever saw Amberana barrels. Was actually at Pierre Ferrand. It was the first place I saw anyone messing with them, and they were very skeptical of them. I saw it. That was back in 2018. I want to say 2018. So.
I like when people are honest about some things. We've met some other people like, we like the barrel. I'll never use it again.
Man, this is not what I expected, because when I had a chance to get the bottles, I mean, I was trying, obviously, burn ends because of names. Like, I got to get burn ends. And missed out. And I'm like, any of the three I knew I was going to be happy with. And I just thought, I didn't think I'd get a chance to try it before picking that sucker up. But you weren't kidding when you said blueberries. But it's like first I thought blueberry muffin, but then I was like, it's more like a scone that's got a vanilla bean frosting to it. And then there's like a little bit of some chocolate pieces on it.
I think you nailed the tasting notes.
Man, I haven't even tasted it yet.
You will. You'll love the blueberry. It sits right in the middle as like the chocolate swirls on the outside.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a blueberry compote, but then you take that and put it over chocolate chip pancakes.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite things, by the way. So,
have you had those chocolate-covered acuberries?
Yes.
That's kind of a little bit of what I'm getting on here too.
This is dangerous.
Feels like you're biting into some type of chocolate-covered candy.
Yeah.
And you're like biting through it to find what's in the middle.
There's something floral there too that I can't.
And it's not quite herby. It is more floral than herbaceous.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like a lavender tea, because it's not lavender. It's
almost like a hibiscus.
Yeah, it's leaning a little lilac. Yeah. So it reminds me of when our lilac shrub blooms.
But not overwhelming like they are.
No.
Sorry, some of those, man, those can be too much.
So what was fun about this barrel, so this was a purple corn mash bill barrel for us, 71 months old, but it was actually paired in American oak, which is fairly rare for us. Probably only one out of every 20 purple corn barrels is in an American oak cask. And it didn't turn out like any of the others from the exact same whiskey. This one was unique from when it hit 14 months old. We could tell it was different than the other ones from the same run. And we just fell in love with it over the years. This was consistently probably the favorite barrel at the warehouse for a very long period of time.
Let's see. Charlie, you mentioned that orange blossom. I'm like, I don't know if it's quite an orange blossom. That's a nice note to it, but the blossom part is right. You know, like you get that outside almost like feels a little bit of like a flower note. I know some people, I have eaten flowers. Some of them are edible, but you get that little bit outside edge note to it.
No, Kevin, I'm now going to have to mix my blueberry and my Count Chocula because I do have both at home.
Okay, the finish on this, I was trying to. It was reminding me of something, and bear with me a second. But the feel of the overall feel of the finish reminds me of the finish on the 3-chamber rye, not in flavors, but what it does, and that it's fruity and floral, and it's subtle, but it will not leave, and it just hangs out there and just stays, and then just gives you these nice waves of flavor on it, and then that proof does not hurt.
There's proof on this.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste
113.
like any. Doesn't taste like anything.
Oh, the empty glass is freaking blueberries.
Yeah. And that, like,
Oh wow.
very, very rarely get a flavor that rides that profile so as strong as this barrel does. That's why we loved it so much.
Yeah.
Neat.
Wow.
I think
I'm wondering how that's gonna. Oh, go ahead, sorry,
Oh,
Margaret.
sorry. I think the flower on that also might be like a magnolia.
Hmm.
I keep coming back to that too. It's bugging me that I can't place it.
No, but is that on the nose on this?
Yeah, these sold out. These sold out pretty quick that day.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I actually, as
I don't
an
believe I
employee,
even got
only
to see
got
the
one
email.
set myself, so I was doling out of my own personal stock for y'all on
Oh
here.
my
So
goodness.
you're welcome.
Thank you very much,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
That's because I don't have any personal stock left.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw Emily just threw up the website or a link to shop. Yeah. Besides spirits on there, there's some of the 10th anniversary merch on the website. Also new on the website is I think they'll ship out after Thanksgiving a chocolate Glen filled with like some boozy chocolate treats, so you can dump it out and eat the chocolate inside and pour whiskey in your chocolate Glen and then eat your Glen when you're done.
I do have to brag on this. This actually is an official Glencairn too. So it's all officially licensed by them. It's really fun. They gave us the rights to do it and sent us all the specs to get the right measurements on the glass. So it's a bigger one just because, I mean, if you're going to have a chocolate glass, you might as well make it a little bit bigger than normal. But
Yeah. Big pint glass.
but it's pretty awesome.
that's pretty sweet.
That is fun.
And any recommended pours for the chocolate Glencairn?
Ooh.
Promethean's very chocolatey for me, so I would say if you have Promethean, definitely Promethean. But
Icarus is also really awesome.
ooh, yes.
That's awesome. I'm excited about those two. That's neat. I was gonna say, just at first I thought you were just talking about the little chocolate thing. I'm like, I don't even think I'm gonna get that. I think my wife gets that.
Now those chocolates that I sent y'all are not a 2-bite chocolate. It is a 1-bite chocolate because it is
Liquid in the
full
center.
liquid center. So if you bite it in half, you're gonna lose all your whiskey. So it's just 1 bite. But there's 6 of them in the box. So some of them are filled with Harbinger and some are filled with Promethean. So Morgan, I think that I made sure to send y'all one of each. So y'all got one different.
I'm gonna commandeer those. They're
Okay.
really bad, so Mitch, I'm gonna save him the trouble of trying.
I don't think Mitch should eat those.
Yeah.
No,
They're
Might
not good
be
for him.
no. With his heart issues, like that's bad for his heart. Like he doesn't need to have those. So I'm looking out for his well-being.
Yes, he needs to cut down on his Texas whiskey and his chocolates.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, your second in the series of the 3 special single barrels, we're going to do Captain Jack. 112.4 proof, 90 months.
Whoa.
This one was also in American oak. But this was Bloody Butcher mash bill.
Strawberries.
You were going strawberries on this?
Yeah, but it's not like strawberries. It's like strawberry cereal or.
I got the
Yeah.
rum part right away. That, like, when I came around like this, yeah, you totally get that little bit of an edge where you're getting a rum. You're clearly not getting where you're alluding to Captain Morgan. You're not getting that style of sugar off of it at all. But you do get it, just a nice hint of. It's like a darker molasses note that feels like it's leaning itself into a rum side, at least on the nose.
So this was a
Ooh, I said a strawberry Pop-Tart, but I was thinking that there's something very, especially on the nose, it's like sticking my head in a bag of cotton candy, which, yes, I have been known to do.
Prove it.
I could see that, like a strawberry, cotton candy. I had relatives that lived in Australia, and I just say fairy floss now because that's what they
Fairy
call
floss.
Fairy floss. But yeah, like a strawberry, like a pink cotton candy would be a nice wisp to it.
This is strawberry rhubarb to me.
There's a lot of smells going over this glass.
I think Captain Jack Sparrow had a lot of smells too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get little honey and almonds too, and it kind of it's almost like a granola trail mix with strawberries.
I was gonna say your honey almond. I was gonna go graham cracker, a little bit trail mix. You're gonna see that on the flavor.
I haven't even tasted it yet.
I'm sorry.
This is a great nose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude,
And this one finishes a little different for me. It seems to kind of finish all up front. I mean, it's definitely has that like dark honey almond settling, but it's also very wispy up front, like cotton candy.
This tastes like Trix to me. The cereal.
Yeah.
I don't
You're
know
not
why,
wrong.
but that's what this is just screaming on the palate to me. But like kind of some dusty Trix.
Holy crap! Nope, that's very good because right as you said that, I was getting like two different flavors of like the berries from it, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit! And it's not Fruit Loops. That's not the right combo of flavors that's in there.
This is
Hold on, I need more.
the old out of them all, and to me, it's probably the lightest oak profile out of all the barrels.
Yeah.
What's really crazy about it?
Right away, this one almost had one like the Noble Bin where it was a little bit lighter in the midsection and kind of got livelier for a second.
Yeah, this finishes fast and hard.
For me, the entry is like a spiced honey cream. Wow. And then it opens up. You get a little bit of a bready note. Yes. Damn it, this is the one I don't have enough of. I'm going to kill this one really quick.
Yeah, it's so fun how each of these three are, I don't know, so very different, but the names of each one of them definitely pegs the description to the T.
I think your Captain Jack comes through in the finish more so, letting it linger on afterwards. That's really where that kind of holds in. On the sides, it's a nice, rich molasses note or sugary note.
Mm-hmm.
It's got just a little bit of caramelization where you, like I said, that blowtorch thing, if you were going to caramelize or like where you start to get the bubble on the side, but not burnt. That is a neat finish. I don't know if there's a sarsaparilla on the end or not.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that.
Yeah, it is. I like that a lot.
Take it back. Maybe the cream soda is like a sarsaparilla note. There's a lot going on in this little one. Damn it. Sorry. I'm like I got a sip left and I'm like this.
You may as well finish it.
I'm going. Well, no, I need it for the blend. So
I say I already did that. That's been marinating here for about over an hour.
Yeah, well, I haven't. I'm gonna start mixing this together now to play catch up. I'm not gonna go too crazy.
Are you trying this last one? The burnt ends.
Yep.
Oh man, burnt ends is some of my favorite barbecue. So.
Oh, it's a fantastic. Sorry, I agree with you. That's one of my favorite parts of a barbecue. All right, here.
So
this one, 114.9 proof. And this is going to be the youngest of those 3 single barrels.
Recently, didn't they finally let you go to an awards thing and claim something, Robert? Or are they ever going to let you go claim something? I want to see you on a podium, damn it.
Oh, but that was just to support Shannon, Marcia, and Jonathan more than anything else. That's all I was. So this whiskey is really fun. This one was actually done with a wave stave cask.
Hold on here.
Really rarely, I guess rarely, about 20% of our barrels are these wave stave. And that's because about 1 in every 20 wave stave casks ends up having a lot of guaiac alcohol to it, which gives the whiskey a little bit more of a natural smokier or oak smokier character. So it's not something that we've smoked. It's not that we've done anything. This is all straight from cask, the flavors that you're getting on this. It's also done with a little bit faster or a little bit heavier steam push on the barrel or on the still. So you put a little bit more of your heavier oils through, create a little heavier distillate. So it's kind of a cool combo for us on this one.
Mm-hmm. This is neat.
This was yellow corn and rye, 5% rye. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know I'm nuts on this, but it smells like
Teen spirit,
like almost like a subdued brimstone. It has presence, it has all this stuff, but it's not beating you to death. Like I'm sorry, brimstone does. That's what it does to you. That's just the way it is. It doesn't smell like it's beating you over the head, but it smells neatly complex like that.
And for me, that was like, so brimstone is a whiskey they directly smoke. The oaks smoke the whiskey. Well, this with the oak, it's to me, it's almost more natural smoke coming from the wood, which is why it integrates in a little different way than the direct smoke.
It smells like a smoke ring rather than you being next to the smoker. You know, I mean, like right your head into it. It smells like what you got afterwards, just off the meat.
See, to me, this is almost like the residual effects of smoking, is where you've got the smoke and you've got the old char and there's some of the drippings and everything else that's in there.
Fat drippings are right. You know, it's almost like you can smell that in the oils. Sorry, I guess I'm getting some other notes, but those are
barbecue sauce and leather and
yeah.
The leather part's right, for sure, in the barbecue sauce. Okay, you guys are in Texas, but what is your favorite style of of barbecue? Like, do you have one that even
Texas style.
there is, and I'm just saying some people might venture outside that realm. Maybe someone's a Kansas City person, or
So I again, for me, I think my true love is always going to be it. I love brisket really well. Smoking fried turkey also I'm a fan of. That's another thing I'm a big fan. But I'll give it to the folks out in North Carolina, like on some of the pork butt. I love a little of that mustard.
You said pork butt. I love pork butt.
I'll go with that. But like you can't beat St. Louis ribs, man. I'll say this: there's a famous place in St. Louis down on Lindell. Is it on Lindell? Jeez, is it one off street off? God,
I think it's a street off, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name, but I think I remember it.
Yeah, it's one of the famous places in St. Louis, and ironically, the town that we live, like Dennis and Sherman, are kind of sister cities, and like the most famous barbecue place in our area. The guy was on the same barbecue team as the guy from St. Louis, so he had does all the St. Louis style ribs, and I'm in love with that personally. So.
Sorry, did you guys get to tasting it yet?
I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's there. It's not over. I don't want to say not overly subtle because you get smoke flavors.
100%. Yeah, that's.
But they fade in and they're not overpowering to any extent. You're still getting on the finish some tannins, some neat notes. Sorry, I'm trying to play the back end now. This is neat. What is it? What is this one?
It's
114. Sorry, I'm just starting to get warm.
114. Yeah.
You're just warming up.
I'm just warming up. That's all.
So go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Nope, you go ahead, please.
So I was at a barbecue restaurant one time, and they had smoked Twinkies for dessert.
Ooh.
And this is kind of like that. It's got that real light smoke flavor, but it's also got that like sweet, creamy flavor of the Twinkie. It's just kind of a little more alcoholic, obviously.
I was gonna say you definitely get like the smoky, meaty barbecue side, but you're washing it down with the vanilla cream Dr. Peppers or
yeah.
I get a hint of like peppery edge note to like where like if you had brisket where you had that outside layer where you get that nice little outside edge on a burnt end too, where it's just that peppery edge to it.
So this reminds me, if you said you did this intentionally, this would be like if they said, okay, Texas distilleries, we want you to come up with, everyone to do a whiskey and we want the flavor profile to be Texas barbecue. This would be what I would envision that you would purposely make, as opposed to, and nothing against Brimstone, which I do love Brimstone, but this would be like, that's fine, Brimstone's great. We're going to go slightly more elegant with it. It's great. I mean, I like this a lot.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, no, 100%.
So good.
And it feels like, to me, I'm going to try this again before I say it. It almost feels like a mop sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That you're putting on stuff, because I'm almost getting a little bit of apple in there as well too, but like it's a little bit thinner, but you're getting all the flavors, and it's almost like it's the mop thing that you're putting over all the ribs and stuff to keep them nice and wet.
But the sauce this reminds me of, and I wrote it down here. Have you ever had barbecue sauce made with Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what this tastes like.
The finish. I'm feeling like I'm getting 23 flavors.
Mm-hmm.
On the sides. Does he give his approval?
He did. He's back over there. Look, I'm gonna get it. He's watching football on his little piece of grass.
Be careful that up. I fell.
Mm. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of that in the blend as well too. Here, there we go.
No, I'm making the blend.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a tiny blend because I did not want to.
You want
Did not want to go. I didn't want to use a lot
to
of
be
it.
drunk tonight? Oh,
No, I just don't want to use a lot of it.
Are you blending all across the board?
Yep.
It did.
Almost a little bit of all of them.
Equal parts.
Okay.
Oh, I get blueberry and chocolate notes. It's vanilla cream, and a little bit of caramel swirl in that, like one of those Werther's originals that have like cream in them. And honey, and one little line of lemon.
I'm not disappointed in the nose of the blend.
Mm-mm.
I'm not either.
It's not as I was happy to get the blueberry in it, but
Yeah. I do get the blueberry kind of stands out still.
I'm still gonna hit a Dr. Pepper though too. Maybe that was the last one, but
That's actually really good, all blended together.
That's pretty damn good.
yeah.
I was gonna have Emily put up the link. Also, like earlier this year, starting off to celebrate our anniversary, American Whiskey Magazine came out. And did like a whole like short film on the family, on the distillery. And it's very well done. It's about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes long, but you can check it out. She put up the link to watch that if you have not watched that yet. And then
You also had
this
another
was the November issue of American Whiskey Magazine with everybody right on the front.
Oh shit! Oh, sorry, wrong one, wrong person in the front. Sorry.
But yes, Texas whiskey is very well represented in this issue. But the film, it's really great. It was really well done. Just talking with each of the family members and going into depth about the Ironroot processes and history. And it's been a great 10 years for them. Gosh, we hope there's like way more than just 10 more. I mean, like, a lot more.
I feel like you
Amen
guys
to that.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are kind of setting the standard for craft and publicly through a lot of places with the awards you have. But when people have it, I don't think that they're disappointed or confused or questioning what they're having, like some award winners. But no, I'm telling the truth. But as far as we care, as for representatives of the craft, when we mention places like where can you go where you can have something, I'm like, well, you can pick anything from Ironroot. What do you mean? Whatever you have, you're going to be fine. There's some places you can't do that with everyone. So it's fantastic.
It's always been a hit whenever I bring that out, and I bring several of them. There's a couple I don't share that much. The Harbinger 23A, I'm milking the hell out of that one. That was my bourbon of the year of 23, and that was so good. So that I don't let anybody pour out of that, but
you slap people's hands is what you say.
No, it's just no. I will be pouring that one. Thank you very much.
Oh, you don't want that one friend to have that 3-ounce pour.
Yeah, I got a couple with some heavy hands.
You're having that the rest of the night.
Well, yeah.
All right. No, you guys have done tremendous with what's coming up. What besides the new expansions and stuff? What are some of the hidden things what's something that's exciting you about the future? Both of you. What is it?
Ooh, Lord. Here it's going to be a really fun year. We're going to have a bunch of different styles of whiskey we've never released before. That are going to be coming out next year. So that's something that's really exciting to me. We've got a lot of really cool and different programs and stuff that we're going to be doing. And then, I think next year also is going to be the goal of trying to, work with some other distillers to do some cool, fun, special releases. So I think next year, putting some collaborations in place that hopefully the following years we'll kind of got some really cool things. So that's my hope for next year, is doing some cool things. Cool
collaborations, bring other people in. That's cool. I like that. So I don't know. There's all sorts of things I've been excited about you guys, but you guys always hit it out of the park. So it's fun to have a distillery like that.
And you guys are going to do more 375 releases, right?
We are to try to get more bottles to more people. Really, what they're going forward. How do we?
Even at like a total wine level, or is that more at the distillery level?
Both, honestly.
Really? Okay, yeah. Cool.
That's kind of what we're working on, is how do we get things in more people's hands, but also find ways to do things that make things a little bit more affordable for people as well. Because I think the last, not that people wouldn't be excited if I was like, hey, I have a $250 bottle coming out next year. We could do something really cool for that. But the reality is that I'd rather make some really amazing whiskeys in like a more daily drinker price point than coming up with like the craziest thing I could to cost $250 for a bottle. So for me, I think that's the kind of exciting thing, is seeing, again, as we're releasing the sleight of hand products, kind of what we can do with it from there as well. From the brandy side, we started out with just our brandy and cognac. More recent releases have had a little bit of 20-plus-year-old Armagnac in them, all sorts of fun stuff. So kind of seeing where we can evolve and kind of push it, really kind of what I'm most excited about.
Spencer's wondering if the malt that you're working on is one of the things that might come out next year.
Malt?
Maybe I manipulated the question. I don't know.
No, you didn't.
So there were several different malts we've been working on, and there may be one that would be malt whiskey in the United States, not malt whiskey nationally. Or internationally, that could come out next year. Exactly what the timeline for some of those are, I don't know yet, but there will be at least one thing that has a significant amount of malt in it coming out next year. So
very cool. Outstanding.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't realize we were that late. Sorry. Talking to you guys goes by awfully quick.
That's what happens when I send you 6 whiskeys to try.
It does. There's nothing wrong with that. I enjoyed all 6 and the combo mix at the end, so that's pretty good. That combo at the end, it
was a very pleasant combo mix.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that doesn't happen all the time. That's pretty sweet. The little bit of blueberry and everything that came into this one, I'm ecstatic. But before we go here, remind people what date is the anniversary, which some of you will be attending and apparently picking up a bottle for me.
Saturday, November 16th. I believe it starts at 10 or possibly 10:30.
Line up outside
10
at
to
8.
5 that day. And there'll be different events throughout the day, food vendors, other vendors, cigar pairings, cigar rolling classes, again, new tours of one of the new buildings.
Mike, is there going to be tailgating?
Well, I'm going to talk to them about, I'll be there before 10. I'll just say that.
I didn't know, but that's, yeah. I would be too. Sorry, I would be in line a little bit early. Don't want to get everyone, but we do tend to show up early to places from time to time. But we entertain ourselves, right?
Yes.
That is true. And I'm going to show off my little bell because I'm going to kind of talk about the bell at the distillery. So before, when they had traveled over to Cognac, France, and were, Robert, do you want to say the name of the actual distillery you were
I'm intrigued.
Grossperin is the name.
And they had this brass bell down there, and they told them that they ring this bell every day at 3:00. And the significance was that ringing that bell, that reverberation, you feel go through you, it goes through the spirits, and it's kind of just to honor, everybody before you that helped to make those spirits, and you making those spirits for future generations. So then when they came back home, they later received as a gift from that distillery their own bell to have at Ironroot.
Mhm.
And it was actually a bell in its previous life that was a safe harbor bell. So it was guiding people to safe passage. And so now at the distillery, at the beginning of tours or special events, that bell will be rung. And then I got my own little bell that I can, it's a very heavy bell, that I get to take around to places, and either when we're celebrating opening a brand new bottle, you can ring the bell. But I was just going to ring the bell at the end of this show for everybody that's here, that now you are a part of the Ironroot family, and how it just kind of ties us all together.
Excellent.
I'm sure the cat is going to love this. He loved it. He's looking at me.
So you jump across the
Well,
screen.
yeah.
That's what I was like. Should I zoom in if this goes a different route?
No, yeah. If the cat jumps up and attacks me, I got a very nasty look from the cat. But yeah, check out. If you can't make it to the 10th anniversary, you will be missed. Hopefully, y'all can all get Mike to mule you something back, or just plan a trip down for yourself.
Something happened. So
I'm hanging out. Let's drink some whiskey.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank both of you guys for coming on. We really appreciate it. We enjoy the product, and we're always happy talking about it. But we love the passion and attention to detail that everyone there puts into the whole process. No matter who it is, you guys pick the right people to do the jobs for you. So that's a whole nother level of a job, of owning a business. But you guys seem to keep picking the right people. So congratulations on that, and on making it to 10 years, and let's go like 50 more, because I want to find out what this Armagnac and other things you have cited that happen to come out as.
We'll have some fun.
Awesome. So remember, it's not the size of the den that matters, it's the love of whiskey. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
What?